So first thing I'm going to do is remove these side bolsters from the rear seats. I don't know if these have to come out, but these rear seats are coming out anyways, and this should give you better access to the C-pillar trim when you need to remove those. When removing these side bolsters, you're going to want to lift upwards and out. There's a hook on the trim on the top of the bolster, and if you pull straight out, it'll break the plastic. Pull the trunk release to get better access to the parcel shelf. But first, we're going to remove the C-pillar trim. I saw on one of the Civic forums that supposedly Honda recommended to their technicians that use a rubber mallet when removing the C-pillar trim. You just give it a couple of taps and it should pop loose or release the main clip, and then you pull straight outwards on the trim to remove or release the rest of the clips. Alright, so now we're going to go to the inside of the trunk and the ceiling. There's a sequence of clips that we're going to release from this underside. I didn't get them all in the shot here, but there's quite a few, but they're pretty obvious when you see them. While you're down here, you're also going to want to release the clip holding in the tension rods for the hinges and also the third brake light connector. Alright, so now we're going to remove the parcel shelf. Before we go ahead and do that, we're going to snake these seat belts out through channels that are already in the parcel shelf. It should just slide right through and give you better access to popping it off. Now just push upwards to free the remaining clips. The clips that are towards the back of the parcel shelf are what you already released when you went in through the bottom of the trunk. Now we're going to release the clips that hold the wiring harness to the trunk lid itself. The proper way to do this would be to entirely remove the wiring harness from the trunk deck lid, but we're just going to be careful and put it to the side after we remove it. The only thing holding on the trunk lid are these 10mm bolts, and there are 4 of them, 2 on each hinge. Now's a good time to have a second set of hands to make sure the trunk lid doesn't drop onto your back window as you remove these bolts. On the inside, there are only 2 10mm bolts holding the hinge on either side, so 4 total. The one closer to the rear windshield is kind of a pain. If you have a ratcheting wrench, that would be your best bet. It kind of takes a while with a normal wrench. But here's the other side, just sped up, moving things along. The factory hinge set should come free now. To install the new one, you just need to line it up with the 4 holes under where the parcel jump. This is also an excellent time to have an extra set of hands. One person holds it in place while the other one threads. The rubber stoppers do need to get compressed when you install these bolts. They're going to seem like they're out of reach from the hinges, but just apply adequate pressure and they should grab. Now reinstall those 4 10mm bolts to the trunk lid through the hinges and you should be all set. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below.